The United Kingdom is an island country in northwest Europe made up of England, Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland. Hey everyone! Welcome to Fillapedia. In today's video, we are going to go over the top 10 fascinating things about the UK. So without further ado, let's get into it. Number 10. The myths about mysterious creatures and English folklore. Legends and myths involving monsters and mysterious creatures are popular stories in the UK. Many people have claimed they have witnessed such beings in the past. Such accounts have also surrounded the London Bridge, where some people have heard the voice of a woman roaming in the night. There are stories of the Loch Ness or shortly Nessie, based out of the lake in Scotland it allegedly inhabits. English folklore encompasses the traditional Robin Hood tales, the Brythonic-inspired Arthurian legend, and the more contemporary urban legends and monsters such as the Beast of Bodmin Moor. English folklore takes a heavy influence from pagan tradition, with a number of figures, legends, and creatures being adapted from the pre-Christian traditions of the region. Number 9. Carrots and World War II. The science is pretty sound that carrots, by virtue of their heavy dose of vitamin A, in the form of beta-carotene, are good for your eye health. A 1998 Johns Hopkins study, as reported by the New York Times, even found that supplemental pills could reverse poor vision among those with a vitamin A deficiency. But carrots cannot help you see better in the dark any more than eating blueberries will turn you blue. During the 1940 Blitzkrieg, the Luftwaffe often struck under the cover of darkness. In order to make it more difficult for the German planes to hit targets, the British government issued citywide blackouts. The Royal Air Force were able to repel the German fighters in part because of the development of a new, secret radar technology. The Onboard Airborne Interception Radar, AI, first used by the RAF in 1939, had the ability to pinpoint enemy bombers before they reached the English Channel. But to keep that under wraps, according to Stolarczyk's research pulled from the files of the Imperial War Museum, the Mass Observation Archive, and the UK National Archives, the ministry provided another reason for their success: carrots. Number 8. Welsh terrorism boosted the construction industry. After the Norman conquest, which only took 6 years to put down all rebellion in England, the victors were presented with the same problem as everyone before them. Wales was a nightmare to control. Initially, the Welsh were not on the radar of King William the Conqueror. He only wanted the English crown that he felt was his. Feeling left out after almost 1,000 years of non-stop fighting and raiding, the Welsh funded more English rebellions to restore normal relations. The blowback was a series of invasions of Wales by the Normans that lasted for more than 2 centuries. At that point, the scene became so confused with barons changing sides and fighting each other that a consistent uprising was no longer apparent. Due to the problems posed by terrain, the Normans adopted a similar tactic to the Romans: build castles everywhere, and hope for the best. By this time, of course, stone fortifications were a possibility, and it is a testament to how unruly the Welsh were that there are over 600 sites where castles stood. 100 castles still stand to this day, making Wales the most heavily fortified place on Earth. Number 7. The last armed uprising in the UK was Welsh, naturally. There may be something in the water in South Wales. Nearly 2 millennia after the Romans were being merrily hacked to bits by Welsh tribes, there was the final armed uprising against the state. In 1838, Parliament rejected the first Chartist petition, which had such outrageous requests as, "Stop treating us like serfs, please," and, "We want a day off sometimes." Over 10,000 Chartists marched on Newport to protest the lack of representation. This led to a confrontation with a small detachment of soldiers and special constables who were stationed at the Westgate Hotel where some Chartist prisoners were held. A battle began that involved firearms, clubs, and homemade pikes. In the end, 22 men lay dead and 50 were wounded. The ringleaders were the last people in Britain sentenced to be hanged, drawn, and quartered. But this was commuted by Queen Victoria for the allegedly more merciful punishment of being sent to Australia forever. Number 6. London's transport system might be bigger than you think. TfL, Transport for London, operates 3 different railway systems across London. The largest is the London Underground, a rapid transit system operating on subsurface lines and in deep-level tube lines. TfL also operates the Docklands Light Railway, DLR, an automated light rail system in the east of the city, and the Tramlink system. London has one of the oldest transport systems in the world, and also one of the largest. The 270 functioning stations of the London Underground boast over 400 escalators, the longest is at Angel in North London, but there are another 40 stations that aren't even used anymore, and that's before we even mention the famous red buses. Number 5. Declining industry is a major problem, and the kids aren't all right in Wales. Due to competition for raw materials production from the Far East, most manufacturing and heavy industry jobs are gone. Some areas of Wales are now experiencing youth unemployment as high as 25% or more. There are few job prospects beyond the most basic manual labor or the ever-present service industry. The process of privatisation and eventual closure of the industries that made Wales the powerhouse of the British Empire began under Margaret Thatcher. The recession of the 1980s also drove a spike into the heart of Welsh industry. Although there have been attempts to move further into high-tech industries, including an aviation company headed by Iron Maiden singer Bruce Dickinson, many employees of these firms are graduates from better universities than Wales can provide. The young Welsh are left with a grim future indeed. Number 4. The Queen doesn't have a passport. In fact, the Queen is the only member of the royal family to have the privilege of travelling without one. Why? All British passports are technically issued in the Queen's name. Open up a British passport and you'll see, clearly written onto the first page, Her Britannic Majesty's Secretary of State requests and requires in the name of Her Majesty all those whom it may concern to allow the bearer to pass freely without let or hindrance and to afford the bearer such assistance and protection as may be necessary. By the way, the Queen doesn't need a driver's license, either, and has never been required to take a driver's test. Number 3. Queen Elizabeth's main home has 78 bathrooms. Queen Elizabeth's home base is Buckingham Palace in London. It's technically in the city of Westminster, a London borough. According to Town & Country, the huge palace has 775 rooms total. Wow! Of those rooms, 78 are bathrooms. You can even take a tour of some parts of the palace. The main feature of the summer tours at the palace is the state rooms, of which there are 19, as reported by the tourism site Visit London. These are the rooms where the Queen spends time with those she hosts. There's also a huge bronze staircase, dubbed the Grand Staircase, with elaborate carvings. The palace is filled with expensive artwork, fine porcelain, and clocks. In fact, there are so many analog clocks that there are 2 full-time workers, horological conservators, who wind and take care of them. Number 2. Great Britain isn't the United Kingdom. This is commonly mistaken, but Great Britain and the United Kingdom are actually 2 different things. The United Kingdom includes Northern Ireland, but Great Britain doesn't. Great Britain, therefore, is a geographic term referring to the island also known simply as Britain. It's also a political term for the part of the United Kingdom made up of England, Scotland, and Wales, including the outlying islands that they administer, such as the Isle of Wight. United Kingdom, on the other hand, is purely a political term. It's the independent country that encompasses all of Great Britain and the region now called Northern Ireland. Number 1. The shortest war ever, Anglo-Zanzibar War. The Anglo-Zanzibar War was a military conflict fought between the United Kingdom and the Zanzibar Sultanate on the 27th of August 1896. For those who don't know what Zanzibar is, Zanzibar was an island country in the Indian Ocean, off the coast of Tanganyika. Today it forms part of Tanzania. The conflict lasted between 38 and 45 minutes, marking it as the shortest recorded war in history. Only 1 British sailor was injured while casualties at the other end reached 500. The immediate cause of the war was the death of the pro-British Sultan Hamid bin Thuwaini on 25 August 1896 and the subsequent succession of Sultan Khalid bin Bargash. The British authorities preferred Hamid bin Muhammad, who was more favourable to British interests, as Sultan. With that being said, here we come to the end of our video. I hope you like this video. If so then, don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you never miss any video. See you in the next video. Till then, take care. Thanks for watching.